Here are some essential hiking safety tips. Number one is to always plan ahead. Research the trail, check the weather, and inform someone about your itinerary for the day. Always tell someone where you're going and make sure that you know for sure that that's where you're going. And if your plans change, be sure to give them a phone call and let them know if anything's changed within your schedule or your itinerary for that day. Number two, pack the essentials. Bring water, snacks, a map, compass, first aid kit, and extra layers. Weather can change extremely fast on you guys, and if you get lost out there and you have to spend the night out there, it's always important to have those extra layers because you can freeze to death very easily out there in the wilderness. Also, it's amazing how many people go out there and they forget to bring the water, the most essential thing, so you don't end up too dehydrated if you do get lost, and you at least have something to put some extra water in if you do end up having to stay out there longer than you anticipated. And a first aid kit is always a great idea, so that way you have it, so that way you don't have to worry about, because even a tiny cut, if you can't get to a doctor in a hurry, can turn hazardous if you have to be out there for longer than you anticipated. Number three, this is the one that a lot of people seem to always forget because they're out there wearing flip-flops and everything, is wear the proper gear. Sturdy shoes, comfortable clothing, and layers for the changing weather. This one ties into the last one we just talked about, bringing extra layers. But there's an important part here about wearing sturdy shoes because you could be going under overtrain that is not safe. It's extremely unlevel. You could be out there and it could start raining, so your terrain changes, could start snowing. Know what the weather is supposed to do. This ties into the first two that we've talked about. Number four ties in, going back to the water deal, is staying hydrated. Drink plenty of water throughout your hike. That is going to be a big necessity, especially in the summer months. But the thing a lot of people forget is that even in the winter months, you can die of dehydration even more easily because you're not thinking about drinking as much water if you're out there. Now, number five is beware of your surroundings. Watch for wildlife, steep drop-offs, and inclement weather. This is important. A lot of people do not pay attention to where they're going. A lot of people don't pay attention to where they are in their daily lives. They have their headphones in. I was out hiking the other day and I actually passed by like 4 or 5 people that actually had their headphones in, and they were out there walking their dogs, and they were miles into this trail. They weren't paying attention, so basically a bear or any wild animal of any kind could have come up there and got them. That is something that you really want to pay attention to whenever you're out there, guys. Now, number 6 is bring a buddy, and this is one that a lot of people think that they don't have and have to do, and I've heard people say this, no matter how big and bad you think you are, and this goes for girls and guys both, no matter how big and bad you think you are, hiking with a partner is always the safest option. So that way, if something does happen, you fall, you break your leg, or there's always 2 of you there and you can help look out for each other. Just basic common sense is bringing somebody with you. Also, know your limits. Don't push yourself beyond your physical abilities. If you're somebody that's really out of shape, if you're somebody that isn't used to hiking, then don't try to go on trails that are extremely treacherous or trails that people have been known to fall off the sides of, or something that a billy goat cannot get up. Know what you can do. And honestly, like the moderate trails are going to be about your best options for that at the end of the day, so that way you're not going out there and you're not having to deal with this issue of where, I fall and I snap my ankle. And again, that's why it's always a good idea to have somebody with you if you are going on those more dangerous trails out there. Number 8, respect the wildlife. Keep a safe distance and don't feed the animals. A big thing, like this sign right here, shows you the advice that it would be. This is actually from a park that's pretty close to where I live right here. But it plainly says that this is what you do if you encounter a bear. And these are just basic tips. A lot of people may think these tips are crazy, but these are put there by the Wildlife Management Service, the park rangers, and people like that these are their jobs, to try to keep you safe and to make sure that you bring it home, but also to protect the wildlife. Do not go and obviously start antagonizing a bear in the woods, especially if she has cubs. Do not go out there and start trying to stir up a bunch of stuff just because you think you're big and you're bad. Keep that in mind, guys. Now, Number 9 is always stay on the trail. Always stay in the marked areas. Avoid getting lost by staying on the marked trails. This is something that you guys should go without saying, but a lot of people get off the trails. How can people end up going missing countless times in national parks all these years? Throughout all these years, there's been a lot of people go missing in the national park services because they don't stay on trails. They don't follow the rules that I'm laying out right here. A lot of people don't like following rules. A lot of people think that they shouldn't have to. But this is stuff that's going to keep you safe whenever you get out there and you get to hiking, especially if you're new to it. But these rules also apply to everyday life. They can correspond to everyday life if you really think about the way that I'm laying them out to you. And number 10, and this one does correspond to everyday life, is be prepared for emergencies. Know basic first aid and carry a means of communication. Carry means of communication so you can contact people if there's an emergency out there. But there could be a long time before anybody gets to you. That's why I always say you should be carrying a bag with you that's similar to a bug out bag. You should be carrying things in that bag or on your person such as a firearm, knives. Always carry rope in case if you need to, especially if you're hiking in very hilly and cliffy areas. Make sure that you're taking care of all this, guys, ahead of time. This all goes into proper planning, and it'll help keep you safe in the end. But also be prepared for things that you may not account for, because as a lot of people forget, this is not a movie. This is everyday life. This is stuff that you have to account for because things do go wrong. And as they always say, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong at some point. Even if you get away with it 1,000 times, that 1,001 time, it's not going to go the way that it has the last 1,000 times. Be safe out there, guys. Stay prepared. And like I said, these things can transition from hiking or being out there in the wilderness to everyday life, especially that last one. Be prepared for emergencies. It's amazing to me how many people fail to realize this, especially in the times that we live in now. Be prepared for anything and everything. Like I always say, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. God bless each and every one.